Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 430 of the Drunk Treasure Podcast. I'm host always, I'm Tyler. Joining me, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Cookies and dowels, Tyler. Just cookies and dowels.
Cookies and dowels. Oh, this
Anyway, I'm fucking excited. This week, this Memorial Day weekend, marks the 8th year anniversary of us recording our podcast.
Yeah, which is incredible. We were kind of talking about before the show. We were going back and listening to some of our old episodes and like kind of reminiscing and all that. And it's just crazy to think how far we've come from on a lot of levels where we had no idea what we were doing. The audio was terrible. We were literally using Gables and I were using our the mic that was in our laptop.
Yeah, our external microphones from our webcams we were using pretty much.
Yeah, which I mean it was bad quality. You kind of talked about like how Jake, he was using a 360 headset to record the show, but the audio would our audio would pick up on his mic, so there'd just be a constant echo on all that. Just me learning Audacity, all of that. It's incredible. It's been fun. Just going back today, doing the share screen with you and like us going back and like listening to some of the episodes and just like some of our some funny shit that we completely forgot about and some shit like, oh man, remember we did this, and like we'd find the episode, like you and I went back and listened to the episode where when you used to do Wrestler of the Week, you did John Cena and Jake got so mad he rage quitted the podcast.
Oh yeah.
That was fucking funny. Just so many cool moments, so many fun moments, and it's just kind of funny, like listen to all those and just like, oh man, like 2013 I think that's great. We were in our mid 20s, early 20s at that point still. Now you're 33, I'm 32. Here we are still doing this, just having fun still this day. Like we're maybe not, we're a little more serious than we used to be, but we're still not that serious. You go back, listen to last week. It's not very serious. As I'm literally drinking a Dinky Doodle, which is a vodka and Gatorade for people that don't know. It's a little tart. I put too much vodka in that one, but it's awesome. It's been an awesome ride. Thank you, Gables, for doing this with me every week.
Hey man, it's been a pleasure, and man, thank you for putting up with my bullshit over the past 8 years. I mean, hell.
You have no bullshit, Gables. You have to put up with me every week. I'm the one drinking every week and just being a dumbass. So it's and for people who have listened to us for a long time, thank you so much as well. And people that found us even after just a month ago, us losing our feed that we've had for 8 years and have to start all over again. If you found us, we so much appreciate that. A lot of cool things going on with the show, though. That's kind of like sucks right now. Hopefully in the future it's going to be great for us. Some cool changes happened for us. I found a different... a couple days ago, I switched us to a different hosting service for our podcast, which is great for us for a lot of reasons. And this is even we have a sponsor now, guys, which is awesome. We're not really making a lot of money, but instead of paying $20 to $30 a month like we've been doing for the last 8 years, it's a free service, and we're actually gonna make a few bucks doing it. Literally, it's probably gonna be a few bucks. It all depends on how many people listen to us, but like I said, they're a sponsor, but that's just like. I'm not in. There's gonna be an ad break in here later for you guys. By the way, if you're listening to us later, or if you're watching us on Twitch right now, there's not gonna be one. But listening later, it's gonna be in there. But I'm raving about this because it's something that I really, really, really like. It's called Anchor. And I was showing Gables how easy it is for me to just post the podcast on, and how much simpler it is for all of us. And I've been going through the process of uploading all our old episodes one by one. There's a lot of them. This is episode 430. And there's a few in there that aren't actually technically numbered podcasts that we did that are on there as well. So I'm going through the process of uploading those one by one, putting in the show notes again, all that. It's a process. I'm working on it. But my goal is to hopefully by the end of the weekend have all of our old podcasts on one feed again. And that way it's all in there one shot, and it's people can, if they want to go do like we did and go back and reminisce about some of the old shit or find out kind of what we were like in the beginning or just how different we are from May of 2013 to May of 2021, they can do that. So yeah, working on it. It's pretty cool. Like something that was really depressing and upsetting a month ago has, I think, potentially turned into something else. For not life changing, but big changes for us. Two guys that do have full-time jobs that just do this for fun, and no longer have to pay a fee to do this. And might make a couple dollars. We might every month we might be able to get a double cheeseburger out of it from McDonald's. So yeah, but yeah. So anyways, Gables, we have a lot to talk about. But I do want to thank first off our number one fan. This is an old joke for a lot of people that most people don't remember. I forgot about it until I was going back and listening to some of these old podcasts. But we gotta give a shout out to our number one fan, Kim Jong Un. May he rest in peace. For a while there, the Drunk Nerds intro was the national anthem of North Korea.
Oh my
Fun
God.
fact. But yeah, if you are, whether you listen to us for the 430th time or the first time, you can check us out. We're on twitch.tv/drunkerspodcast. We do that. You can watch us there live. We record it every Saturday night. Kind of fluctuate the time. It's usually somewhere between 7 and 9 o'clock Pacific time. In there, I need to do a better job of when posting and give people a heads up when we start, because it really just kind of depends on. Usually, Gables and I hop on here and we bullshit. It could be 10 minutes, it could be 2 hours like we did today. Just watching some random bullshit and having some discussions and all that. So, but yeah, check us out on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We're on everything right now. The only thing, we're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, all those places. The only thing we're not on yet is Apple Podcasts. Still working on that. Cannot figure out why the fuck it's not uploading the podcast on there. I've actually sent a thing to Apple support to try to figure out why it's not working. Hopefully have that fixed sometime this week. Unfortunately, though, it's a 3-day weekend. Well, not unfortunately. It's also a 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend for us. But it's going to just kind of delay it a little bit longer, possibly, of getting the show up there and running. But we're working on it. But Gables, we have it's been a crazy week. It is definitely E3 time. I made the joke in the initial recording because we had an issue and we had to start the show over again. But it's to sing the song. It's beginning to feel a lot like E3. I didn't sing it, but I said it. But the first time I sang it, I swear to you, Gables heard it. He could confirm I sung it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shit happening. Everybody just decided Thursday we're just going to talk about shit. So it's been nuts. We had a Dragon Age thing Wednesday night. We had a Horizon State of Play. Xbox announced their event time. We had a Far Cry 6 teaser that was leaked on Thursday, but it was supposed to be for Friday. Pokemon dropped the release dates. There was a Switch rumor, Switch Pro rumor. It's crazy this week that we've had.
We go from nothing and all of a sudden we get like a huge explosion on one day, essentially.
And it was crazy where, I thought we were talking about last week or 2 weeks ago where, usually towards the end of May is when we start to hear a lot of rumors and maybe some confirmations and stuff like that. Sometimes, it was funny, even earlier in the week I was thinking usually end of May or early June, there's always a Pokemon Direct that happens, and they just do a big Pokemon thing there, and then they don't really discuss it at the Nintendo Direct at E3. I was like, I wonder if they're going to do that this time, because obviously, not 2020, we didn't have an E3. This still weird times. Who knows what the fuck's going on? And then the very next day, boom, wake up in the morning, it's just a Twitter post. Hey, the release dates for these are this. And let's just jump into it, Gables. So we got the Pokemon release dates now. I'm pulling up the thing here. So we have the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are coming November 19th. And Pokemon Legends Arceus, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Arceus.
Okay, is January 28th, 2022. So we have release date for those two things. I want to talk about on top of that, Gables, Bloomberg that very same day, the next day on Thursday, didn't announce, but put out an article about how there's some leaks and some rumors that the Nintendo Switch Pro, whatever it might be called, that Nintendo might announce it before E3 as early as that day on Thursday. Obviously, it didn't happen, and there were some rumors that it's going to happen Friday or it might happen Japan time. The way it works out, we might have heard something Thursday night, Friday morning, because of the big time difference between us. Because I guess Nintendo of America was closed on Friday, so there's a lot of thoughts. And then E3 is 2 weeks away, So maybe we hear something and they want to get out of the way, and boom, right for the weekend happens. Obviously, it hasn't happened, but I don't know how much I want to talk about as far as like the Nintendo Switch Pro stuff, because I feel like we've been talking about that forever now.
Right.
And I feel like it feels more real than ever. But what was your thoughts on the release dates for Pokemon?
Honestly, I was not surprised about the releases for like Brilliant Diamond and Shine Pearl. November launches matches up in regards to a lot of the major Pokemon releases from the past, especially with Diamond and Pearl, the original releases. Only they were released more or less, I think it was like April 28th of like back around 2007, if I'm not mistaken. But
I thought it was I thought this was the 10-year anniversary of Diamond and Pearl.
Yes, I believe it actually is the 10-year anniversary of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Not too sure about that now that I think about it.
No, you know what? You were right, because I remember I was working at a game store, and I remember a used copy came in, and at that I was like right out of high school, so I think it was 2008. I think you are correct.
Yeah. So in this regards and stuff, I'm not surprised that they announced a
2006.
November...
I just looked it up. Sorry.
What's up?
It was 2006. We were both wrong.
Okay, 2006. Okay.
Yep.
Well, anyway, like I was stating and stuff, I'm not surprised that Nintendo went ahead and clarified a November release. Usually the big budget, like, not the big budget, but like the big name Pokemon games release in November, usually, in that regard. Sometimes October, give or take, if it's like
X and Y were October.
Yeah, but November 19th, okay, that's fine. It's almost the same. Actually, it's not the same date as like the Switch's release.
March 3rd.
Oh, March 3rd. I don't know why I thought that. Well, anyway, not surprised with that. What I was surprised was with the Pokemon Legends Arceus being released late January. That was a bit more surprising to me, because I had the thought in my mind that game looked like it was a little bit farther out than what they initially showed inside their footage. I thought it was at least going to be about a March or an April style of game, but if we're getting it that soon in 2022, then I want to see some more footage of it. I honestly do, because I don't feel like that it's polished to the extent where it could be. Obviously, it's still a game in progress, but at the same point, there are definitely some improvements they need to make inside of that game. Even though it seems very ambitious for what they're aiming for, and I'm glad that Game Freak is going through and aiming for something a little bit more elaborate in terms of what they usually do traditional-wise for Pokemon games. But yeah, very surprised about the Legends release date.
Yeah. Definitely. I think a lot of people were pretty shocked by that one, because to touch on more about the Switch Pro stuff, is that the part of the rumor from Bloomberg is that there's probably going to release September, October, which I think that sent a lot of us. I think a lot of us were assuming at this point, because of COVID issues with the semiconductors, nobody can get anything made across all electronics, cars, everything is being impacted by this, like PS5, Xbox Series X. We're just going to add a whole other model on top of that, make it even more difficult. So I think a lot of people were just like, probably going to be a 2021 thing. When I heard that date, January 28th, I'm like, that kind of sets it up nicely for Breath of the Wild 2 launching with Switch Pro in March. That's kind of what my initial reaction was when I heard that. I was like, that's going to be crazy. We get two Pokemon games and a Zelda game within 4 months of each other. But it's still, even if, say, the Switch Pro is September, October, and Breath of the Wild 2, you got to assume Breath of the Wild 2 launches with it. They got to have something big to launch with it.
Yeah.
Either way, whether it comes to September or March, it's still 4 months, and it's your two biggest IPs. You're releasing three of them within 4 months, which seems crazy to me. But I mean, it kind of be the perfect thing to kind of like set this up, especially looking at it from the September point of view with the Switch Pro, where come out, boom, Breath of the Wild 2, September. 2 months later, it's a remaster more than it's a remake of Pearl and Diamond. It looks more like the Game Boy or the DS version than it does look like the last, like, Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
It's kind of that middle point of that. And then you got, bam, potentially this game-changing Pokemon game and Legends Arceus, in January. That would be a really great launch. Like we talked about how great 2017 was when the Switch launched, where it's just like every month there, we had ARMS, Splatoon, Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Odyssey, Mario plus Rabbids. We had all these fucking
Yes.
games in that first.
All these first-party
6
games
months.
that blasted on full cylinders, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it came out just killing right away. And like, if you can, and we kind of talk about it for a little while now, where it feels like Nintendo. I mean, COVID obviously. I mean, like anything else, put a wrench in that plan. But it really felt like it's been kind of quiet the last couple of years. And even before COVID, it was like we were talking about how kind of quiet it was. Like, I mean, well, okay, we got Pokemon Sword and Shield November 2019, but it's like we got Animal Crossing in early 2020, but it's like, well, what's coming after that? And we kind of been in that point a little bit where like we've had some stuff, you know, we had Paper Mario, we had the Age of Calamity, we've had some stuff, but we haven't had
their last
anything
big
for a
major
while.
release, you know, for something that's been incredibly worthwhile. That was a big old seller. Was Animal Crossing: New Horizons back around March 2020.
Yeah, but like since then it's been very quiet as far as what, you know, like we know Breath of the Wild 2 is on the horizon. They announced that E3 2019, but it's like we don't really know what's next from them. And obviously now we have these couple Pokemon games. We have this, and it's just like, okay, maybe Nintendo's reloading right now. It's like all those studios have like put out their game that, you know, earlier in the first, you know, 18 months or 24 months of the Switch, and now that 18 months really, and now like, okay, now they all got to, you know, go back, you know, and reload and start up again. Maybe we're kind of in that point now where, you know, like everybody's reloaded. They're reloading right now, and bam, the next 18 months, 24 months could be fantastic. Obviously, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, like COVID in Japan is awful right now. It's, you know, we're basically where we were a year ago, 6 months ago, is where they're at right now. They're being hurt really badly, so that could put a hole in that wrench plan. So obviously that's more important than video games. But just speaking from the video game side, yeah, this could be incredible the next couple months for them. So I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely excited. I'm gonna get both, but I'm definitely more excited for, you know, because I remember when I bought the DS versions of Diamond and Pearl. I think I got Pearl. It didn't click for me. Like, I took a couple generations off at that point.
Well, yes, I understand, but more so, Tyler, I can understand why back then you may not have enjoyed Pokemon Diamond or Pearl at that point, because looking at it from a retro scale, from like a retro perspective of it, when I first bought the games and played through them, the story-wise and the pacing and everything else was definitely slower than the normal type of Pokemon game. It took a while for things to really pick up, plus there are certain aspects of the gameplay in regards to creature selection that would have helped things a little bit easier in regards to gradually going through the journey in that sense. I know that Pokemon Platinum, I would actually consider one of the best Pokemon games in that entire series, because not only it worked upon improving the faults of Diamond and Pearl, but it expanded with more so upon Giratina, or that legendary and all the Sinnoh region stuff that tied together. Plus the climax towards the end of the game was better, in my honest opinion, from not only a story perspective, but also in terms of like creature selection, because you had more and this and that. But anyway, I'm getting off topic with it. But
no, you're fine.
Yeah.
I just hope it's kind of like what they did with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Yeah.
Where they basically just did the Pokemon Yellow version of Red and Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like it's basically the best version of that. I kind of hope that Diamond and Pearl are basically just the platinum versions of that.
I agree full-heartedly. I hope so too. That's what I am wanting to know most about, is because I am fairly interested in playing these remasters of Diamond and Pearl. They may not look up to snuff, like in terms of their past iterations in regards to when Game Freak was actually doing the remasters. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were definitely the last big major remaster hurrahs that Game Freak had, and before that it was like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Fire Red, Leaf Green before that, and look, you have like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and they don't really jump off the paper, so to say, or jump off the screen, but at the same point, I'm willing to give these games a fair shot when they do release in November. Gonna play through them because I'm a fan of Diamond and Pearl, so
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely gonna check them out, but I mean, it's definitely more of an excitement level for what that Legend of Arc is. It's more so I just want to know more about it than it's excitement of like what it can be more than anything. But I do want to move on to something else that happened on Thursday.
Right.
It is we had the Sonic Central, which is basically a little Sonic Direct, and I watched this, Gables. I'm not a Sonic guy whatsoever. I had the Sega Genesis when I was a kid. I played the Sonic games on there, but I was never really big into them. I watched this thing, and I was entertained the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I was entertained in good ways, but I was entertained. I was never bored, and there's a lot of reasons for that. So some of the bigger stuff we had. They announced Sonic Team. They kind of gave a teaser for their next Sonic game, which is Sonic Run Through Fields, a CG trailer. 2022. It's coming to all the consoles, next gen, last gen, Switch, PC. Like a 20-second teaser trailer. Sonic Colors Ultimate was revealed, something that was leaked a while ago. I don't think everybody knew that was coming.
Yeah.
That is coming September 7th to PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC. But it's going to be exclusive on PC at the Epic Game Store. But obviously, cross gen, you can play it. The PS version will work on PS5. Same with Xbox. That's like I said, September 7th. That is actually a Wii game that came out in 2010.
Yep.
A lot of Sonic fans actually legit say it's a good game. And it's not like when like Sonic fans say like, oh, it's a good Sonic game, but it's actually just a bad game. Like it's a 5. But it's like no, like Sonic Colors. A lot of people say no, that game's like a legit 8. It's like I hear Sonic fans like say Sonic Forces is like actually a good game, but it's like no, guys, no, it's not good. It's a bad game. I think Huber summed it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was listening to the Easy Allies podcast and they were talking about it, and Huber summed it up perfectly. He's like, Sonic Forces is the best 5 out of 10 I've ever played. And I was like, that's a good way to really talk about 3D Sonic games. But what were you gonna say?
But like I was saying in regards to Sonic Colors, I have legitimately heard like great things in regards about that game. I've seen lots of various footage. I've never actually played it myself, though I do own it for the Wii. But at the same point, it's far enough to where I feel like I want to play it on the HD system, so I want to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Definitely want to give it a shot, and September lines up perfectly. I would love to give that like a good try on the Switch or the PS5, whichever version is going to be in stock first.
Yeah, I didn't look up to see the prices, but if it's not a full price thing, that's actually something I might check out.
It's probably gonna be like a $50 game, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it because if it's like $40, that definitely makes it enticing. Another thing that was announced was Sonic Origins was announced. It has Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic CD, which I heard a lot of people were like. I've heard some people going crazy at the fact that it has Sonic 3 in it. Other people talking about how it's crazy that Sonic CD is in it.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles in particular, people are excited about it because you had no legitimate way to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles only because of licensing issues from Sonic 3.
Oh.
So
I thought it was it? Isn't it in the Sega Classic collection though?
Not in I don't think it's in the perspective that you were thinking in that regards. But for those that are not aware of, back when Sonic 3 was created by Sega, they actually had Michael Jackson come through and compose some of the music in regards to Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but infamously he said to them that if you cannot match the quality of the music that he composed, he didn't want his name anywhere on that soundtrack. So when you listen to Sonic the Hedgehog 3, that soundtrack, you're actually listening to some of the music that Michael Jackson helped compose.
Okay.
For those that are interested in checking out the history of that, definitely go onto YouTube. Check out, I believe, maybe the Gaming Historian has done something on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I do remember listening to some YouTuber talk about it at length. But it's an interesting, part of gaming's past, in regards to how not only games back then were created, but how certain pop stars and stuff would lead certain influences in regards to the gaming industry back in the 90s. But yeah, Sonic 3 and Knuckles I think was one of the types of modes or something that gamers weren't able to play because of licensing issues. I'm fairly excited about the Sonic Origins collection only because you have some of the best. You actually have the best 2D Sonic games, barring Sonic Mania, all on one collectible thing. There has been many compilation things that Sega's put out.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always been a handful of the Sonic games and then all the other games that potentially could be on there. But this is one of the first ones where you actually have Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and CD on the same one. So that one is definitely fun, in my opinion, but there's actually more things they're going to announce alongside of this package, so I have no fucking clue what they're going to do. they're probably just going to add a whole bunch of the spin-off Sonic games or something like that, like, say, Sonic Spinball or Sonic 3D Blast. I'm just guessing, but those come up in the conversation. It'd be kind of interesting if they included the Master System or the Game Gear games, though. I mean, those were games back in the day which they were okay in some aspects, but there are people that very much love playing through the Game Gear games in particular for like speedrunning purposes and this and that. Although I would argue that the Sonic games would be very fun to do a speedrun on. I mean, hell, I've loved watching a speedrun of Sonic games because of how people go through the intricacies of tricking the system in order to try to glitch through certain parts of the stages while going super fast.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Sonic Origins definitely was a fun thing. Obviously, the teaser for the new Sonic game coming out in 2022. Apparently, a rumor going around, it's going to be called Sonic Rangers, but at the same time, it's up in the air what the hell this Sonic game is going to be all about. For all we know, it's probably... I just hope that it has nothing affiliated with, say, like a Sonic 06 or, like, anywhere close to, like, a Sonic Adventure sort of, like, aspect to it. Because, quite honestly, it's like, I am really mixed when it comes to 3D Sonic games in general. I mean, I have every reason to be, because, hell, being a Sonic fan even back then, playing a little bit of Adventure 2, maybe, like, a little bit of Sonic Adventure and stuff, they really didn't strike my fancy. Plus, the controls and the camera and everything else were very janky.
Yeah.
But, fairly excited. But what I thought was very funny about this whole, like, Sonic Direct, quintessentially, what it was, is all this, like, 35th anniversary celebration stuff, even going through with freaking, like, chains of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. I'm like, what the hell? It's like they made bling of these guys, like, actual jewelry.
This is some of the stuff I was talking about where, like, I was saying, I was entertained, but it's not, like, a good entertain where, like, we had the Sonic bling, there's all these cameos, and this is the best part right here. So there's Sonic is in Two Point Hospital. That'll be added on July 2nd. They're at 22nd. There's going to be some Sonic themed items. My favorite thing is, and this makes me actually want to buy the fucking game. I don't know how much. If like this is like a $20 game, I'm buying it. It's like a low budget looking game. It's Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. It just looks like a low budget, should be a $20 game at most. But you can actually have a Sonic costume, but you're not just Sonic playing these games. You're a human dressed in a Sonic mascot outfit playing these fucking games. You're playing basketball, track and field, which is hilarious to me. Like, Sonic is playing track. I'm like, that should just not be fair. He's too fast. It should not be fair. But it's just like the sprite of him is just fucking hilarious. You guys need to just, if you need to watch anything from this fucking thing, it is just like the 30-second clip of Sonic fucking in Olympic Games Tokyo, the official video game, because that looks amazing.
I'll tell you what I didn't like, though. They were going to the animation portion of it, and like they're announcing another Sonic the Hedgehog show. The animation for that damn thing that they showed really looked half-assed. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like one of those clear-cut, like, DeviantArt type of things where it's like they spliced it all together with, like, just various types of whatever actions or something and just plastered it on the freaking, like, molded it together on a video. It doesn't look like professional. I mean, it may be good for, like, a standalone image or something like that, but for a full motion, like, cartoon show or whatsoever, it really does not look up to par with what, like, a Sonic thing, or even, like, up to par with actual good cartoons.
Yeah. The Sonic Prime or whatever it's called. Yeah, it's all hilarious that, like I said, just it's like a 20-minute thing. It flew by for me. I was having a blast the entire time because I could not wait. And like you were talking about with like Sonic Rangers, it's funny because they accidentally like said that in like a press release about it, and then they went back and like tried to fix it later. What's really funny is like someone on Reddit, like back in January, did like he play tested the game, I guess, and just spilled all the beans about the game in this Reddit post. I haven't looked it all up. I heard some secondhand information, people talking about it.
Okay.
And he's like, I played this game. He talks about all the details of the game. And he said this game is terrible. So.
Oh no.
Who knows? But it's like this. This happened in January. He called it Sonic Rangers. So that kind of.
That lines adds more. Yeah,
that's why.
To it.
After Sega accidentally referred to it as Sonic Rangers. That's what kind of blew up that post that came out in January. It's kind of like when there's every time a Nintendo Direct happens, someone on Reddit or whatever will like post all the details about it. It will be 100% correct, but no one believes it because there's a million of them. And after the fact, an hour later, someone leaked the entire E3 Direct for Nintendo like 4 weeks ago, and nobody knew.
Oh yeah.
Or no one paid attention to it. It's like kind of like I remember before Call of Duty Warzone happened, someone leaked the Call of Duty before they even announced the game. Someone posted the entire map and all the details about Call of Duty Warzone. They had a screenshot of the map and everything, like 3 months before the game came out or was even announced, and no one saw it, or no one saw it, but like just never got any buzz. No one paid attention to it whatsoever because no, that's not real. And then bam, the guy was like, that's Reddit. Reddit is where things, where leaks happen that nobody sees coming. And speaking of Reddit and leaks, Final Fantasy Origins is a thing apparently that's happening. For people who don't know, it's funny. I've seen a couple of people like on Twitter like talk about how like I was working on this like they work for like IGN or whatever, not IGN, but writers for like video games websites.
Okay.
I don't know why journalists. I don't know why I was struggling for that word. But like multiple were like, I've been working on this article to break this news for weeks now, and someone just went on Reddit and blew the whole fucking thing up. And that's what happened with this game. So this game called Final Fantasy Origins apparently is happening. It's being made by Team Ninja, and it's a Souls-like action game, but within the Final Fantasy universe. It's a spin-off. Gable looks so confused right now. It is so I'm just going to read this here. It's a Final Fantasy spin-off action game from Square Enix, according to a report from Fanbyte. So Fanbyte is the one that corroborated on the leak that happened on Reddit. The game reportedly is called Final Fantasy Origins. It's expected to be announced in June in conjunction with E3. From Square Enix. It's a series of rumors. It's being compared to Dark Souls and Respawn's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The spinoff is to be more accessible than Neo for a wider audience, so it's not going to be super difficult. It is set during the events of the first game of the franchise, hence the word Origins, and apparently it's going to be a PS5 exclusive and come with console exclusive to PS5 and coming to PC later. And like I said, made by Team Ninja.
What's kind of interesting about that is like the footage that we saw a couple of years ago, I think at this point. If not, I'm not too sure if it was a couple of years ago or last year, was regards to that footage that Square Enix had, like Project Sylphid or whatever the hell it was called.
I forgot.
That one thing that Square Enix was showing and stuff like that looked like an action RPG sort of ish like type of thing that didn't have like a title. But you saw the gameplay; it was very hyper, like action oriented, this and that.
Yeah, I mean that's Square Enix is like they love doing that shit.
Well,
like posting shit way too early without a title.
What's kind of interesting about that is like I thought that was exactly the type of game that you were describing right there, because it's like Final Fantasy Origins, this and that. I kind of thought it would tie together like that, but it's made by Team Ninja, which doesn't fit in line to what was shown back then, so I don't think those comparisons would actually work with that regards. But the reason why I was so confused with that statement of Team Ninja developing a Final Fantasy spin-off game that's more or less like an action-oriented, like Dark Souls-ish type of game, for one, that's a crazy concept, and they're going to go back to the original. So what are we going to see here, like red mages or something like that, just taking out a whole bunch of fucking like goblins or some over the top of things or whatever? I don't even know.
I can't wait to see it.
I want to see this firsthand and see what the fuck is going on, because that sounds completely out of left field. It sounds very much like a fan fiction, if anything else, dude. It feels like a cross between a couple different concepts. I don't know what the execution's going to be, but I'm kind of eerily curious to see what the footage is going to curtail. Because if it's just a bunch of old stock RPG, original Final Fantasy characters is going to go through and just carving up shit like Ryu Hayabusa. I mean, that's gonna be funny as shit to watch.
I just keep imagining like a B plus platinum game style thing.
Right.
Is what I like with more with the mechanics of like a Dark Souls. That's all I'm seeing. Is like kind of a more slow paced platinum game, like a mediocre platinum game. I don't know. I mean I'm not like Final Fantasy. Like I beat 1 and 2 back in the day on like put them on Game Boy Advance. I don't really remember much of them after that though. I remember playing them, but I don't remember beat by beat of it. Final Fantasy 7 is, other than that, is the only thing. Remake is the only thing I really like about Final Fantasy. But I can't. When I heard about this, I'm like, this sounds super interesting. Like I don't want to say good because I don't know if it's gonna be good. It's who knows. I don't think it'll be bad, but I can't wait to see this. I don't even know if it's gonna be something I'm gonna be necessarily interested in after I see it. I just want to see it. I can't wait for how that's gonna work out. But I don't know. It's good. I can't wait for E3, man. We're so close, but yeah, so far away. I can't fucking wait. Yeah, it's incredible. Let's move on here. But before that, let's have a word from our sponsors. All right, well, moving on to our next topic here, guys. We had a State of Play from PlayStation. Another big thing happened on Thursday, which I was so excited to hear that we're finally going to see some gameplay of Horizon Forbidden West. We got 14 minutes of gameplay. They showed off a bunch of cool stuff. It was all on PS5. We get to see they show some new mechanics. You have like a hook shot. You can swim now. They also showed that she has a glider, and it just showed off all the new different items different weapons they have. She had a really cool boss fight with this like tusk, like a giant woolly mammoth type machine boss fight. I thought this game, it was my game of the year 2007. I don't know. God damn, 2017. Like, that ain't right. But it was my game of the year. 7 better than Breath of the Wild. But I just, this blew me away. I couldn't wait to see it. Looks incredible. There's not really too much more to say. This game looks great. I can't wait to play it. I'm buying it day one. But I told you, I said that I felt that way after I beat fucking Horizon that day. Like as soon as I can't wait for 2. I can't wait.
Yeah, you did
I'll buy this
that.
game as soon as it comes out. Yeah, like whatever. I'm fully on board for a second one. Shocking. The only one thing I don't want to say disappointed in, but the only kind of bummer of the whole thing was it went perfect, cap it off with a release date or at least a confirmation of like a release window or a year, like something 2021, 2022.
Right.
They did come out. So they did say when they first announced it is their goal was to release it in 2021. That was like September or October of last year. And they said in a tweet after the fact, Guerrilla did, saying that the game is on track. On track for 2021, we don't know. But, I don't know, overall, I loved it. Gables, what was your thoughts on this State of Play?
All right, so for this State of Play, it definitely had the surprising elements to it. There was a lot of good various detail that I noticed throughout that entire presentation. For one, I decided to watch it upon the PS5 with some of the update stuff because I didn't catch it when it was going live. I was at work at the time. So after I got home, powered on the PS5, immediately the first thing I see is like, oh, you want to see the Horizon like Forbidden West like gameplay thing that was uploaded like an hour previous? I'm like, okay. So I started watching it, right? And I'm noticing a couple of various details in regards about it. I mean, for one, that underwater scene where Aloy is just diving underneath to try to get away from like a lot of the enemy tribesmen and stuff, and like the cybernetic like raptor things or something like that, and you see the detail of all the coral, all the leaves, all the freaking like fish, like various types of actual real fish going through and just swimming in like schools and this and that. It felt very organic, very interesting in terms of like scope and scale of that, try to escape from this ongoing threat. But one of the things I loved about this gameplay that it showed, for one, you can actually tame like certain aspects of the beasts, like the mechanical like raptors, for example.
Yeah, I love that.
Going through it, kind of just hijacking them, really. Like you just get like an electronic device and just go through and just physically like electronically like hack into their system, right? And then ride them and do like a various battles that way. That's sort of like a golden axe sort of effect to it, where, you know, not necessarily of that sort of style, but I'm just going like a with like a very obscure Sega reference here. So it's like, it's kind of like in Golden Axe, when you actually can ride upon like a various like dinosaur, like a fucking beast or whatsoever, and just kick the shit out of enemies. It is kind of almost the same thing, but like much more advanced. But I love it when she's fighting against that giant freaking mechanized like woolly mammoth and stuff like that, and you just have this scope and scale of like small animal against a big animal and stuff. Obviously, the dinosaur gets wiped out and stuff like that, but what was very telling in terms of how much like oh boy, like how much effort was put into the gameplay of this, when she's battling against the tribesmen and that elephant and stuff, and she's able to go through and like just take it out, just the detail of all the little base things and the tribesmen things start to break apart, and then just going through, and then you're finally able to take out the weak point underneath the mammoth and stuff, and then just get all that stuff. That looked very fluid. All of that sequence, it looked like a very fluid gameplay-like sequence. Nothing dropped. Nothing seemed like it was out of place. No adequate like amount of glitches that were prevalent. It had the suggestion, I felt, that this is a game that was definitely well in development, definitely on track, potentially later this year, no release date.
Yeah.
That kind of makes me suggest that it could be maybe released at a later date than what we were thinking. Not very sure. We may hear something more of it in the next week before we make our big old predictions stuff. But what impressed me most was the opening cinematic and stuff, where you're seeing all the things unfold, and then once it actually evolves into, it flashes into the gameplay, it's the same thing as the cinematic like thing. You know, it's a cinematic opening, the same type of fluidity, the same type of thing, and that's what took me by surprise. Like, holy shit. I'm so used to games, different thing in the cutscene and a different animation style, this and that, and all of a sudden the game is like almost like a little bit of like a step down in that regards, or the opposite occurs where the thing is very grainy on the cinematic side, and all of a sudden it's like the gameplay side looks so much better and fluid. But yeah, just the same type of look and fidelity. It definitely makes me excited when that game does release. Forbidden West is shaping up to be, honestly, I kind of feel like it has the potential to be like the Mass Effect 2 of the Horizon series, you know, where it feels like it's going to be very evolved upon its original gameplay from the original game. I've only played a specific amount of time with the original Horizon. That will change fairly soon, obviously, since watching through that gameplay footage has me hyped in trying the sequel. But man, it was definitely a fantastic experience watching that.
Yeah. One thing I really liked was the fact that the hookshot kind of reminded me a little bit of like Spider-Man in a way.
And not just that, but like the parachute reminded me of Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild, yeah. It was also really funny. Was like the day that Horizon announces a state of play, or the day that they're having a state of play for Horizon, the leak of the Switch happens for the Pro. It's like, man, they cannot escape the fucking Switch. And then they're like, it's like, because people remember the same week. So Horizon had a release date. It was like February 28th. Of 2017, and then a couple months before, 6 weeks before it comes out, Nintendo announces that the fucking Switch is coming out March 3rd, the same fucking week. And it's like that's the thing that everybody talks about when they talk about, like, not everybody, but a lot of people talk about Horizon, where like, oh, I played Horizon, then Breath of the Wild came out, and everyone went back to it, and that's something you hear from a lot of people. It's like they played it for a few days, they really liked it, and then Breath of the Wild came out, and then it's like, bam, here we are, we're talking about Breath of the Wild could be coming out September.
How hilarious would that be if Horizon gets a set release date right, and the sequel to Breath of the Wild releases in that same time period again?
That's not hilarious at all, Gable. That's not funny. That's not funny. We don't joke about that, okay?
You bring up a good point, though. I mean, that game cannot escape out of fucking the Nintendo Switch or Breath of the Wild.
I feel like it's Nintendo fucking with them at this point. It's like, we don't like Horizon. Nintendo has something against robotic fucking dinosaurs, and I don't know why. Well, I mean, I guess they destroyed the planet, but I mean, we don't. But whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's just when I was thinking, I'm like, are you fucking like? I love Horizon. excuse me, I love Horizon. I want that game to do so well, and it just can't catch a break because of fucking Nintendo. And because now I'm thinking people are like, oh, if the Switch Pro comes out in September, October, Breath of the Wild 2's got to launch with it, and now a lot of us are well, Horizon could very. They said we're going to have some more. They said they'll have more news about Horizon soon. Who knows what soon means? The PlayStation's the same people that said that Ratchet is going to be a launch window game, and it's still not out yet. So it's been 6 months. So 7 now. But yeah, I don't know. It's wow. Poor Guerrilla. Poor fucking Horizon. I hope that game. I mean, obviously it did super well. But I mean, I like coming out of that. It's incredible. Like, the Horizon 1 was like the showpiece of the PS4 Pro and HDR, and I feel like this could very well be. I think Ratchet's gonna be a showpiece of like, here's what the PS5 can do. But I feel like Horizon being the next big first party game coming from PlayStation, this can also be the big showpiece for how powerful and how great this fucking thing can look, especially with HDR. Because my God, I've said it before, like Horizon and Gears are like two of the best looking games I've ever seen. Just the way the colors pop from the graphics perspective, and also just the look of it. It's just so colorful and so vibrant, and it's beautiful. And I can't wait to see more of it. But let's move on here. Gables has to step away for a minute, but we'll keep going here. I do want to mention real fast. Not a lot to say about this one, but we do have a confirmation of a release, or not a release. I'm sorry, of a time frame for the Xbox event. So they're calling it the Xbox and Bethesda event. That is happening on June 13th at noon Central, 10 Pacific time. So kind of like that was the time they went in 2019 as well. They went from a Monday morning to a Sunday afternoonish, midday Sunday, noon for me, morning for everybody else for West Coast time. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty exciting. I think it's kind of cool that they're also kind of really trying to show like, hey, we own, like, Bethesda's a part of us now, and so the fact that they're calling this the Xbox and Bethesda event, I think is a really good idea, and just kind of keeping it separate, but all from the standpoint, like, I feel like eventually it's probably next year it's just gonna be called the Xbox event press conference if E3 happens next year, but I think it's smart this year, with just the acquisition of Bethesda just happening, to just call it's the Xbox and Bethesda event, to kind of just, in case you missed it, or in case you're not a big gamer but you like Bethesda games, you know what Bethesda means. It's like, hey,
right,
we own Bethesda, bitches. But yeah, Gables, while you're away, I was just talking about how we got a time slot for Xbox event on June 13th at 10 a.m. your time, West Coast time, noon Central time. How excited are you? Oh, Gables can't hear me. Gables?
Yeah, I'm here. You froze for a little bit.
Did I? Yeah, we're having some weird internet issues. We keep getting dropped from the Twitch thing. So it keeps booting us and reconnecting us. I don't know what the fuck's going on. My internet says it's fine. I did a quick check though, and it says it's fine. So I don't know what's going on.
It may be because of mine or something. My dad is like,
no.
Oh, let's kind of a funny thing. I got called out of the room and stuff like that. My dad apparently took a little nap and stuff. Now, bear in mind he's in the 70s, right? So he's sleeping in his chair. All of a sudden he wakes up. He starts calling me, hey. It's like he took a nap and everything's all dark and the windows are still open. I'm like, what the fuck? Where all the lights go?
Hey man, we've all been there when you take that midday nap and you wake up and it's dark out and you're like, did I just sleep through the is it the next day now? Like is it 5 a.m. Sunday now? What the
oh my God. I've had that moment actually to where I was a kid. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I took a nap, right? And I thought that it was 4 p.m. the next day.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out, like, oh, did I miss school? And it's like, no, you just took a nap for a couple of hours. Like, oh.
Yeah. It's like, no, it's just like 8. It's like 7 o'clock. That's all it is.
Oh my God.
Okay. It's like, you get up, get ready for work, and you're like, oh fuck, wait, it's still Sunday night. It's the worst, the best feeling in the world. Yeah. But how much more do we have for time? We're about what, 50 minutes in. We're doing pretty good on time. We're doing a lot better than I thought. Yeah, this unfortunately I think this is gonna have to be a audio only podcast because we're having a lot of issues with Twitch, guys.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. But it'll be fine. Hopefully next week I'll double check, make sure everything's fine on my end. I've been doing a lot of shit on my computer this week, so maybe I'm just kind of stressing it out a little bit. But let's move on here. So Gables, we got Far Cry 6. Speaking of shit happened on Thursdays. We have a Far Cry 6 event. Just show off some gameplay, all that. Like, looks like more Far Cry. For better or worse, it's happening. But it's coming out October 7th. I've talked about, like, I'm a little worn out on the Ubisoft map game thing. And more so, like, even with but like Far Cry was one of the ones that like I was still enjoying playing through. Like with 3, I loved, obviously, like a lot of other people did. 4 was still good, and 5 was just like it's just too bloated. It's too much. Constantly being attacked by enemies was just frustrating. So I don't know. Well, I want to hear what people say when this game comes out. I want more details of it, but I am definitely not like. On one hand, I'm like, oh man, like a Far Cry game wouldn't be bad right now. That'd be like a fun, game. Just kind of turn your brain off and just go and have fun. Like that's definitely what Far Cry can be. Like that's the way I look at it when I played 3 and 4.
Right.
I was like, well, 3 just had like a legit with Voss was a really cool bad guy, but like just going around the map, taking over camps, all that shit. Like that was definitely fun. But it's like, I hope there definitely needs to be a change of formula. I think in the Ubisoft games, and they definitely need an editor to like. We don't need all this shit, guys. We just need to like trim the fat here.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from exactly. I mean, it's that same old Ubisoft type of formula that's been pinpointed by multiple people, multiple games like media people as well, to where it's like Ubisoft has like a formula in terms of churning out like almost the same type of game, only different types of settings. Kind of like the Assassin's Creed formula evolving into something like Ghost Recon Wildlands and like freaking Watch Dogs 2, and like even to a certain extent they have their own type of first person sort of like style too, with like their Far Cry games, and then that going on to something else. Let me tell you, it's like it definitely does get repetitive, especially if you enjoy playing their games like somewhat over the years, and then like it starts feeling the same. Eventually you'll hit that wall to where you get a burnout of it, where it's like, I don't want to keep playing the same game every freaking year, only a different skin. But yes, as far as Far Cry 6 goes, I have not seen the recent trailer, but at the same time, the whole like reactions like surrounding it, I'm not really clear about it. But from initial impressions of what I'm getting from you, it's like it's just another Far Cry, quintessentially.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the game is still fun to play, but it's just, not getting burned out so long. There is a cute dog in a wheelchair that I really like.
Little dachshund in a wheelchair?
Yeah, oh my god, he's so adorable. I was like, oh man, that's almost a selling point right there. They know my weakness. It's dogs.
Hey,
God damn it. How do they know?
Speedy just goes around like...
Oh man, I'm all in. I might, this might be a day one buy now because of that fucking dog. I'm picturing in my mind, and I just want that dog.
You're just gonna market that dog. Just gonna put him on a freaking T-shirt and everything. It's like Far Cry 6
have like
Weenie Wars.
If they don't already, they're gonna like that's gonna be that's gonna be DLC. If they don't already, they're gonna have like a $400 collector edition where it comes with a wheelchair dog, like RC car.
RC dog.
Yeah, there you go, RC dog.
The RC dog races. Look at this. Look, and they're off.
Yeah, and he's going.
Oh my God! It just spin out in road 2.
Yeah. Oh, he lost the wheel. Oh, this is terrible. We're going to hell. And not dog hell. We're just going to go to hell. Because at least dog hell has dogs, but hell does not.
Oh my God, he's spinning. He's actually on fire.
Oh man, the friction. Oh, goddamn. We're terrible people. Goddamn.
Oh, we are animal lovers, but still, that idea and thought actually is just rather hilarious to me for some reason.
Yeah. I don't want to see it, but it's fun to joke about because
Yeah.
I'd be really sad if I saw it. Let's move on. God damn it. No.
I'm
He just keeps doubling down, Gables. He keeps doubling down.
You know how I have the idea of like going down the rabbit hole or something like that, but I'm not going to continue on because I'm going to scare a little pooch that's inside the bed right now. But,
your German taco's going to be very upset.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to talk about something that's going to be fun next week that we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So Gables and I we always, every year we always do the E3 predictions, but we just kind of think we think we'd see things we want to see, stuff like that. But we never really made anything of it. We just do predictions, and then we just kind of move on. Half the time we don't even remember half of them, or we don't remember back to mention them. So I hit Gables up the other day. I'm like, dude, what if we do like a prediction? We made a game out of it, and the loser had to do something. And he's like, sounds great. So kind of, we don't have dates yet for press conferences. So hopefully this time next week we have all the dates.
Yes.
Because right now all we have is Xbox on Sunday and Square Enix on Saturday, or not Square Enix, but Ubisoft on Saturday. But I'm still assuming we're gonna have a Nintendo one, maybe have a Square Enix one, and then a couple others. Hopefully, there's the Koch Media or Koch Media, whatever it's called.
Koch Media.
Koch Media. No one really ever seems to know. No one can seem to figure it out for some reason. But hopefully, we have a timeline in place. Seeing the fact it's 2 weeks away now. Hopefully, next week we'll have a set schedule for what's going to happen.
Right.
And if that does work out, we have set up a game that we're going to do.
Yep.
For E3 predictions. So what's going to happen is that we are going to have, for each conference, we're going to come up with 3 predictions. And what we mean by that is we're going to have 3 predictions, like I said, and we're going to take turns going. We can't have the same prediction.
Right.
So, like, say we start with the Ubisoft one. Gables goes first on that one, then I go, then he goes, then I go. And then the next one, then I start. So that way we get to take turns going first. And on top of that, we're doing like a little bit of this, like kind of what you see like the 3-point contest in the All-Star game for basketball, where there's that last prediction or that last shot is worth 2 points. So what we're doing with this one is for each conference, the prediction you feel the most confident about, we're going to call it the I don't know what we're going to call it, like the daily double or the bonus point thing. But basically, each press conference, we have to pick one that we feel the most confident in.
Right.
And if we get it right, we get 2 points.
Yes.
But if we get it wrong, we lose a point. So with the other predictions, you either get a 1 point or you get no points. If you with this other one, you pick the one you're most confident about. Like I said, you can win 2 points, or you can get negative 1 point. And some more things added to it is that, like, say you pick like, okay, at Nintendo, they're gonna, we already know the date, but just using as an example here. Okay, they're gonna Pokemon Shine Diamond and Pearl. It's gonna come out. They're gonna announce release dates coming out 2021. Can't do that. If you're gonna pick a game and say it's releasing in 2021, you have to pick a month and you have to have the month right. So you could say, oh, Pokemon's gonna come out October 2021. Well, that's 0 points. There's no half points. It's got to be all correct, 100% correct. So there's no half points, quarter points, whatever. So if you say Pokemon's coming out November 2021, you got that right. Boom, there's 1 point. Or if you think it's going to be 2020, if it's going to be a 2022 game, you just got to say 2022. Pokemon's going to come out 2022. Then you get a point. If you want to pick a month, you can, but that's stupid to do that. And then we decided, Gables and I spent a good chunk of time on scrolling through the internet trying to find bad games to play that aren't a lot of money. We found a couple of good contenders, but they're like $20, $30 games. We're like, no. We're like picking a budget. It's $10. That's the limit. Well, Gables thought of the perfect game, and it's on sale right now for $6.50. I just bought it anyways. It is Night Trap. It is it came out as a Sega 32X game, or Sega CD game.
It was
rather.
a Sega CD game, but this game is more or less infamous because this is what led to, alongside Mortal Kombat back in the day, the establishment of the ESRB.
Yep. Yeah. So it's like a bunch of girls having like a sleepover, and all these like weird creature things show up. It's a live action game. It's terrible. It's infamous for being a really bad game. I've never played it before. I know all about it, but I've never played it before. Gables, have you ever played it?
I've never played it before. I've only seen it inside of videos over the years. People claiming how bad the thing is, how the FMV stuff is this and that, But let's just say whoever does lose this, They're going to be in for one hell of a treat, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so the loser has to play this game and stream it online as well.
Yep.
So I bought it anyways because it's normally $15, but it's half off or something. So it's like I think it's like $7.50. So I'm like, just in case I have to play this game, the sale ends before E3. I'll pay the $7.50 now than paying $15 later.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Right now, the plan is to do a normal show next week and then do the E3 prediction as well. But there'll be two separate podcasts, and we'll do the normal show, release it normal time as usual, and then we'll do the E3 prediction show that will come out Tuesday, Wednesday of the fall. So a few days later. So it'll come out not this coming Tuesday, Wednesday, but the following Tuesday, Wednesday. We just want to wait to see who's gonna be there for our conferences. Hopefully we have dates. If not, we'll have to figure something out. Maybe do a midweek recording or something to do this.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I got some good ones right now. It's just a matter of just getting some fucking conference times. So yeah, look forward to that. I think it should be fun. I can't wait to do the points the week after E3. But Gables, jumping into some of the video games we've been playing, I think we're both at the same point where we've only played one game, Mass Effect 2. I actually, like I said, I took a week off from playing games. Didn't really plan on it. And it's just watching the Ocean 11 trilogy. I don't know why. I just did that. I just watched all of the Ocean movies during the week, like breaking them up. And then I just watched a bunch of movies and TV shows this week. Took a week off because I think I felt like a little bit of burnout. I was playing it. I put over 50 hours of Mass Effect in like 9 days. Like that's nuts. And 2 of those days I didn't play the game. So like that's a lot of fucking time. Like I had 6 days off, and I probably put 40 of those hours in that time frame. And I was like, a little bit of burnout. I'm like, I just need to take a break from this. And I was like, I figured like it was like Sunday afternoon or like early Sunday. I was like, I'm gonna just take the rest of the day off and whatever, and then I'll come back, take a couple days off, come back to it. I didn't get back to it. I played for a couple hours today though. I am very close to the end. I have I think 2 more loyalty quests to do, and then I gotta jump into the end game. But still great, still enjoying it. Where are you at, Gales, with it?
All right, so I took a more methodical approach to Mass Effect 2. Obviously, I wanted to go through and enjoy, for the first time, enjoy all of the content before initially going through and doing the end game in that regards. So a couple things that I did beforehand is I wanted to take out a lot of the bulk of the trophies and achievements of it because these are very easily obtainable in that regards. Similar to the original Mass Effect, okay, use warp like on enemy barriers or something like 25 times. Incinerate, use the move Incinerate or something like that on armor of enemies and stuff to just take out their armor completely. That was another thing. You had to do that 25 times. So when I got those out of the way, I've officially now have gotten over 50% of the trophies inside of Mass Effect 2.
Nice.
The rest of them are going to be accomplishable by just playing the game regularly. So I've gotten that stress, that inkling out of the way. So I don't have to worry about like doing something like that because now all I need to do is a bunch of the loyalty quests, a bunch of the recruiting. There's actually 2 characters now I have not recruited. I'm in the middle of a mission to recruit one of them, which is Thane Krios, one of my favorite characters from Mass Effect 2.
He's awesome.
And then the last one is Samara, which that one, the Justicar and stuff, I have to go through and do that. But my overall experience so far with Mass Effect 2 during this playthrough, as opposed to the last time I had played through the game on the PS3, I am definitely enjoying aspects in this one a little bit more than I did originally, because I started to experiment a little bit more with the different combinations in terms of your squad mates that have biotic powers. For example, did you know that if you had Miranda and Jacob and stuff like that, if you had Jacob use pull and then Miranda uses warp or something, it just causes a combination like explosion, combining effects? I didn't.
That's how you get that.
I did not know that, and so that's how I ended up figuring out how to get this one trophy unlocked, because you had to use this. You had to use on 20 different enemies, right? Like the combination of biotic powers. So how I accomplished this is I had a couple different saves, and towards the beginning of the game, in Freedom's Progress and stuff, I had Miranda and Jacob, both in my party, and there's this one spot where I could just save and then load up the last save and keep on doing it because it counts the counter every time you do that. And so
Nice.
because it's only like 25 times, I was able to completely finish that accomplishment and learn more about the game's mechanics that I did not know before. And another thing that I did differently as opposed to the last time I played it, every single squad mate that I've had them in a specialty of one specific stat first, and then go through and improved upon their operative or like their armor type of things second. So for example, with Miranda, I have her as like a Cerberus leader because she has completely mastered and got all the like the warp stuff. She has like the master warp ability in terms of biotic type of stuff, which she already has, and then Cerberus leader, as opposed to like say, I think with I'm trying to remember a specific example now. I think with Garrus it's something a little bit different, but he's like a master of like a specific thing as well. But yeah, I did the same theme with all the different characters and stuff. As far as loyalty missions are concerned, I took care of one today, I think for Jacob Taylor, pretty much. So Jacob's is definitely complete. From the offset, I already got through with God, who's that guy's name? Oh, the bounty hunter.
Zaid.
Yeah, Zaid. And I got Kasumi's done. That Kasumi's I liked better, obviously, because there's a lot more intricacy in regards to that. I felt that was more fleshed out as opposed to Zaid, where it's more or less like a revenge quest and stuff. And even so, spoiler warnings for this one, it's like he doesn't really get his revenge in that regard.
No.
No.
Just punch him in the face.
No, yeah, that's what I pretty much do. That's what I pretty much did. I punched him in the face and stuff, and I had enough Paragon stuff to where he was completely fine with that. Obviously, from the Paragon choice.
He bitch slapped at me and said, okay, thanks.
But I got his loyalty mission done. I got Jacob's loyalty mission done. I got freaking Kasumi's one done. I think I have like about 3 or 4. Yeah, I even got Jack's loyalty mission done as well. Which, honestly, I've given Jack more of a chance in regards to, like, experiment in terms of her play style and this and that. I've liked, like, how she actually plays inside of the game itself, because she's more or less like a master sort of biotic character, a little bit more advanced than say like say a Kaidan from Mass Effect 1, or a little bit more in terms of effectiveness to say like Liara from Mass Effect 1 in that regards. But the heavy shockwave, combine that with a pull and stuff, I found it really hilarious when I did this combination, because there was a part when you do the whole like the collectors when you first encountered them in regards to like that one main mission that you're doing. I found it to where if I'm using Jacob's pull ability and they float in the air and all of a sudden I use a shockwave, you see the collectors fly like 50 feet in the air the opposite direction.
Nice.
It was fucking hilarious the first time I saw it, and I repeated it like a couple dozen times because I thought that's how you got the biotic trophy.
Oh.
So I kept seeing these collector bodies go flying across, like hitting the fucking outside boundaries and shit. But what I've also enjoyed was the subtle references from different characters that were like subsidiary things from the original Mass Effect. Like that one lady you had to pay off to kill her sister in that regards, or she paid you or something like that. It was like an inside job, so you kill her sister and stuff, but also it comes back in regards to Mass Effect 2. Or in regards to the whole like Zeus Hope in Mass Effect 1. And the Asari that you freed and stuff from killing the Thorian from the original game.
Yeah.
How she looks green because of like a pigment thing, like a side effect of the Thorian, you know, in that regards. And a lot of the other bacteria from the Thorian's like effects and stuff are affecting people to Zeus Hope, and how it contributes to the second game because you get to do this and that, you know. All of the subtle things that you did from Mass Effect 1, I'm starting to recognize now inside of Mass Effect 2, as opposed to, like, say, one thing I remember, and that was with the Arachni Queen.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I remember from Mass Effect 2. I did not remember any of the subsidiary things up until they go up to you and say, hey, Shepard, remember me? This is from this, and that. Especially with the reporter from the Nevaria, I think. Yeah. From all that.
Punch you in the face.
Yeah, oh, my God, yeah. But, yeah, I thought that was well played out in regards to not only just referencing the previous game, but it felt more impactful for what I had accomplished a couple of weeks prior. Because play Mass Effect and then all of a sudden play Mass Effect 2 after it, dude, it feels pretty cool to have that build upon itself and have all of that stuff go into like the next level, sort of say. But I have gotten that stuff out of the way pretty much, so it's like I have been mining a bunch of planets, and I'm finding out that I don't really have to mine all the planets and do the depletion.
No.
You just pick the rich material planets and then just go through and deplete them, and then just go on to something else. And then the anomaly stuff that pops up occasionally and stuff, they're like just little one-off missions and stuff that you could maybe complete. Maybe like it's all maybe 5 or 10 minutes most. I did go through most of the DLC stuff. The Firewalker stuff, completed that. The whole aspects in regards to that Kate Benson and all of a sudden and her type of stuff with the whole like Prothean artifact or whatever, that Reaper artifact, and all the twists and turns in regards to that. Yeah, that was cool, but what was more impactful was like Project Overlord and stuff, when, you know, it's like you have this dude and his brother and stuff like that, and his brother is like on the autism sort of scale or something like that. I really like a bunch of a savant that could talk with gas and all this shit, and everything else that goes along with that mission. That was a great mission because it was very heartfelt. It was very much like built upon itself, like how low like this dude can go to really like to try, you know, how much he actually sacrifices in terms of his morality in regards to trying to impress the elusive man in regards to do this, and the depths he'll be willing to go to just try to prove himself like being some sort of genius or some shit like that. And also like another thing I could reference, though, is the loyalty quest for Jacob, just to bring that up a little bit again, and like the whole thing that his father does in regards to the people and the crew upon his that ship, including the captain, and that, you know, it's for the listeners listening in, if they've never played like a Mass Effect game before and playing like Mass Effect 2 or Mass Effect 1, you owe yourself a service right here. It's like what we stated last week. Mass Effect is a good game. I feel that Mass Effect 2 is a fantastic game, better than the first. The thing that I'm remembering most of all and experiencing now, it's like Mass Effect 2, I kind of felt like this is what BioWare at the time was initially envisioning Mass Effect being, without all the jankiness and the glitches and stuff. I love the story of the original Mass Effect. Gameplay did not match up to the scope and scale of it. Mass Effect 2, the characterization, the story elements, they're there. They make reference to the original story, and there's still a lot of good story to be held inside there. But what makes this game much more impressive and much more on a higher echelon is the character development, the scope and scale of the mission. You know, this life or death mission that you have to go on to defeat, like trying to prevent the Reapers from going through and invading every bit of the galaxy and destroying civilization galaxy-wide and resetting everything. But on top of that, you know, the gameplay, very much well-defined. You know, it's a cover-based third-person shooter, quintessentially, but the squad-based stuff is easily manipulable now to where it feels functional. You can do combinations and do some hilarious effects in regards to making enemies fly like 20 feet in the air, like I've done, taking out all these random like enemies, like from all the mercs and stuff, the blood packs and the blue eclipse and all this other stuff. You know, it definitely has a lot of good memorable moments, a lot of good character development moments, which I feel like there are particular games nowadays I don't feel like hold a candle to a lot of some of the things that BioWare tried with Mass Effect 2. But it's definitely been a fantastic experience revisiting Mass Effect 2 and just building and building. But like I've stated before, there's still a lot of stuff I want to get through and finished. I haven't even recruited all the characters. I have not even finished all the loyalty missions, and I haven't even touched the Shadow Broker DLC yet, and I'm already 25 hours inside that damn game.
Jesus, really? Wow. Okay. So I'm 27 hours in. I'm pretty close. I've got a little ways to go, but I'm getting close.
I'm estimating this thing could be like about a 35-hour playthrough for me.
Fuck, dude, I'm thinking it's going to be about 35 hours for me, and I'm way ahead of you on some of this stuff. I've done all the DLC. I've got all the characters. Like I said, I think I got 2 or 3 loyalty missions to do, and then the end game. So.
And I've even bought new star systems and stuff like that, so explore those planets and shit from Ilium.
I did all that too. But I've got
yeah.
so much fucking of like the Paladum and all that, like all my resources that it's like I have way more than I'm ever gonna use.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got like 400,000 or everything. I'm like, this is unnecessary.
I just want to update. I just want to upgrade all my weapons fully to pop the achievement.
Yeah, like, I've already done all that, and I just keep going. I'm like, why am I doing this? But yeah, I think it's time for us to hit the road on this one. Gables, thank you guys so much for listening. Gables, it's been 8 years. My drink's almost empty, but it's been 8 years, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Here's 8 more. Clink. Oh, that's bad idea. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. It's episode 430. We have no plans of stopping this anytime soon.
No.
But yeah, like I said, thanks for listening, everybody. Hope whether this is your first episode or your 430th, really appreciate it. Like I said at the beginning of the show, check us out. We're on everything except for Apple Podcasts. Still working on that. Hopefully getting that fixed. But we're working on everything. And yeah, thanks for listening. I'm Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. Thank you for listening to us record our ramblings pretty much nearly every week for the past 8 years. For a lot of you long-time listeners, we appreciate the hell out of you. We want to be here for as long as we can do it. As long as we're having fun with it, I'm on board with it. But until next time, everyone, this is Colonel Gables saying good fight, good night, and have yourself a fun-filled time listening to more episodes of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
And hey, Gables. Too sweet, baby.
Too sweet.
Bye, guys.
See ya.